Walk the Talk on Lotus FM.
Good evening, South Africa. Welcome to Walk the Talk tonight. It is the 17th of February. It's just gone 11 minutes past 7. My name's Nilofer Said, and this is Walk the Talk, a show where we give you a voice. Like I said before the break, if you've just joined us, welcome into it. But we're talking to a COVID-19 survivor. Straight Talk with Nolan is who he is. He was on our show last year sometime, and we spoke to him because he had an amazing, heartwarming story that won the hearts of many of our listeners. From rags to riches, from nothing to someone, for making it and doing whatever it took to become successful. Today is a memorable day because the President of our Republic, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, has been vaccinated. So for those of you who are wearing blinkers or ignoring the fact that COVID-19 exists, please remember very much that it's here. And we have people like Nolan Pillay who are weathering this deadly virus and pandemic, and he's willing, even though he's still fighting this pandemic, to chat to us tonight. So with great respect, I would like to welcome Nolan Pillay tonight to Walk the Talk. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening, Nilofer, and good evening to the listeners. And thank you so much for having me on the show. On your show, sorry.
Well, it's your show tonight, Nolan. Why not? Why not be the Nolan Pillay show tonight?
Indeed.
You know, like I said to you, it's always when you're so busy and you're so hectic in our lives, and sometimes we miss the important things. And I think it was about 2 weeks later that I came across your post on social media, and I looked at your story and I go, whoa, what has happened to Nolan? I cannot believe. I mean, I saw, you know, they always say, a picture tells 1,000 words, right?
Yes.
It's just phenomenal. And for those of you who haven't seen the image, it's all across all our social media platforms at Official Lotus FM, on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And you'd see Nolan standing there, very brazen, with tubes around his nose, ears, mouth, and he's holding up placards, saying that, listen, this virus gave him a run for his life, and he's still fighting it. So that's the time I looked at it and I paid Nolan a call. And Nolan, when we had that conversation and I asked you, Nolan, would you willing to share the story to help people?
Yeah.
Please tell me why and what she said. Tell South Africa what she said at that point.
My immediate answer was yes, because I know while I was battling with this in hospital and the ICU, I realized the more people I can actually speak my story to, the more I can inspire them and guide them on things that I actually did to overcome this or get to the point where I am. It's all about helping others. That's basically what it is.
You know, Nolan, okay, let's start at the beginning. I admire the way you always take a disaster and turn it into an opportunity to teach, a teachable moment, as Oprah would say. So let's go to, how do you think you contracted COVID?
Okay, so to be honest, I'm not really sure, but I do recall certain instances, right? So I was going to the gym, but I do know I was masked up. I used to wash, clean the equipment, etc.
Right.
So I don't think I did get it at gym. What I do recall very clearly in my mind is we used to go for 5 kilometers around a area, and the one morning I was tasting like chemicals in my mouth. And I said to my wife, I said, you know what, this is just strange that I'm tasting these chemicals in my mouth. I don't know where it came from. We live near an airstrip. So, you know, as we know, with planes, sometimes they just dump fuel and all of these things. But ever since I got that's when I started getting sick. I felt myself getting sick.
Okay.
So for 8 days after that, basically, I spent at home lying in pain. I was in fever, aches. I was exhausted, but for 8 days I refused to go to the hospital because
Sure.
I heard so many of my friends had gone in and they didn't make it out.
The horror stories.
It's all the horror stories. Little did I realize that, you know what, I'm actually not doing myself any good at that point.
Okay, so when then did you figure out that you have COVID-19?
So it was the Friday, 22nd of Jan.
Okay.
My son took me to the local area, and they did a swab test, and they told us basically that I had COVID. Immediately, because he could see, I was like basically slouching in the car. I couldn't sit up straight. I was like just wanting to crumple up and sleep. And that's when we got back home, they said, you know what, this is it. We don't care, whatever you say, we are rushing you to the hospital now. So they basically forced it. And I'm so thankful and grateful that they did that, Nilofa. At the stage when I got to the hospital, my oxygen was below 60%.
Jeez.
And it was dropping like really, really fast. When the doctors saw me there, they immediately put me on something called a fast flow oxygen, which was able to help me, still being in the casualty, and then they got me into ICU. But before I went into ICU, I did see my son and my wife, and they both were emotional. And although I was battling to breathe, I basically said to them, don't worry, I'm going to get out of this. This is not going to stop me. So I still, I didn't think about anything else besides survival.
What made you say that, Nolan? Because listen, I know that people who are optimists or radical optimists or are the people that always look at a glass half full. But even in a situation where the odds are against you, how do you at that moment go, listen, I'm going to be okay, and provide assurance for those around you?
No, I knew it. I knew my body, and I said to myself, there's two things. You can either choose to live or you can choose to die. What do you choose? So I chose to live. And at that moment when this came into my mindset, I started saying, I will do everything in my power to play my role or my part in this recovery or being in ICU, and I will come out of it. So it was just a mindset shift from either the negative or the positive. And that's the key step that helped me along the journey after that decision.
You know, they always say that the mind is the most powerful tool we have in our body. And if we optimize it, then it will allow our lives to take a course that we never imagined possible. And you are just testimony to that, Nolan. For the listeners in South Africa who may not know how severe your case were, maybe don't follow you on social media and will possibly go after the show and watch some of these videos, I'm going to play a clip to you of Nolan. Now, Nolan is a very special character. He was in hospital with COVID-19 and decided that he was going to video his COVID-19 journey. And I tell you why I say that, because he was in such pain, such a gripping situation, and he was still able to make time to motivate, inspire, and teach. So before we chat to Nolan, just listen to this video for me.
I have to record it snippets, so it's helping me breathe. I'm doing much better today, but once again, thank you for your love, support to me, to see my Alicia made as well. We'll get through this. It shall pass. It's not an easy journey. When you're fighting for your life, it's not easy, but what else? I've got so much to live for. I can't give up. I can't give up now. To all my nieces, nephews, even yourselves, giving up is not an option. Don't give up on life. It's not our purpose. Don't give up. Fight your battle. We're all going to climb mountains every day of our lives.
Yes, Nolan, you are something else. I think there's a few things that I want to highlight in that video. The first is when you say, I have to record in snippets because you're breathless, right? You can't speak. The fact that you say, I'm fighting for my life, but I'm not going to die this way because I have so much to live for. Wow. What made you make the decision to record this video journey?
Hello, that video brings so much of emotions to me, as I listen to it now as well. When I decided to do that, I wasn't only thinking about me. So for one, I was motivating myself to get through this, and I kept telling myself that this shall pass. And second is, being in ICU, I was next to patients that were passing on almost every single day. So it was trying to motivate other people as well, and other families that are going through COVID at the stage. Just don't give up. Don't give up at all. My whole family had COVID at the time that I was in hospital, and they all isolated. They were not as bad as I was. But it was to motivate every single person out there to tell them that, hey, this is just a disease. Who's in control of our bodies? We are. And the moment we take responsibility for that, that's when our mindset will shift into something that says, hey, let me just go all out and treasure this one body that I have. Let me do everything to make sure that I do survive this. And I don't just let it go just like that. I do believe and I do understand we all have a time when we do pass on, but there are certain times when your mind will tell you it's not the time.
Yeah.
So go out and put up a fight.
Yeah.
Fight it. Yeah, fight it. Yeah, I must tell you this, though. I learned only when I came out from hospital from my sister. So my sister works at the hospital as well, so that's a godsend. I'm so grateful for that. I learned that the doctors were actually speaking about putting me onto a ventilator. And there was a conversation that she had with the doctor that mentioned that I'm a fighter, I've got a strong mindset, etc. And then my doctor basically said, you know what, we're going to give this guy a fighting chance. I'm so grateful for that because, trust me, if they had put me onto a ventilator, I've seen patients.
Game over.
It's game over because what they do is you're medicated, and when you're heavily medicated, how are you going to think with a sane mind? And how are you going to fight this fight? It's going to be much more harder for you. So I'm really grateful that I did get the chance to fight this fight because there was no way I was going to lose it. And I'm not going to lose it, even though I'm still fighting it up till today.
You know, Nolan, it's what you're saying is so right. There's so many people that have gone onto ventilators. It almost sends a message to their brain to say, listen, you don't need to breathe anymore because this machine's got you, and unfortunately, artificially, you are let down. And I'm so glad that you had the mindset, because at that time, remember, mentally, people are not strong. Emotionally, they are battered. They don't have time to think and make a conscious decision, say, listen, I'm going to fight this. So tell me physically, what were some of the symptoms that you were feeling that were just really difficult to deal with? I mean, you're a person who climbed Mount Everest, right?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Mount Kilimanjaro, right? You see, even making me forget geographically which mountain you climb. So you're a man who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. You have the tenacity to be someone who is physically strong, who doesn't allow anything to kind of limit their physicality. So what were the conditions that you were feeling that kind of were really getting to you?
So while I was in ICU, I did experience a lot of pain, a lot of aches, etc. So when they got me into ICU on day one, I lied on the bed because I couldn't do anything at all. But on day two, when they brought in a physio to come in, they kind of do a tapping on your back to clear your lungs. And me being a non-smoker, my lungs had all these white thick patches around it, like I was a smoker, both my lungs. So they used to do a tapping physio to release it. And I asked the physio at the time, I said, how can I do better? How can I help you, so that this goes away? And she says, sit on a chair, Mr. Pillay. And I said, are you serious? Is that all it takes? And I decided from day 2 right up until day 11. So that was like 9 days. I sat on the chair every single day. I didn't go back to bed. So what I did is I kept myself upright because she advised on that, and I slept on the chair. The only time I went back to my bed was 2 days before I could be moved out of the ICU. And
was it forcing you to kind of breathe in a certain way that would be good for your lungs? Sitting upright.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. I couldn't sleep on my right-hand side because then I would infect the lungs more. I either had to sleep on my tummy, which I couldn't do, or sleep on my left-hand side. And that also was a mission because you got a lot of drips going on and, all of these cords. So it's like so difficult. So the best for me was the chair. And I chose the chair. They gave me quite a nice, comfortable chair, and that really helped me a lot. And it became a trend in the hospital because at certain points the chair, we ran short of chairs. And I said, where's my chair though? They said, no, well, you were sleeping and we used it for another patient that wanted to sit up. So, okay, not a problem as long as you get me a new one.
That's unbelievable, Nolan. I think maybe that would help a lot of people because I think practical tips like this do help people. Human experience do help people. Well, this is a show where we're giving you a voice. We're speaking to a remarkable individual who says, in his previous interview, his words were to me, I did whatever it took. And this is exactly what he did to fight COVID-19. Please don't go anywhere. This is a story that will truly inspire you. Good evening and welcome back to Walk the Talk. My name's Nilofer Sayed. I'm in conversation on Lotus FM with Nolan Pillay, CEO, founder, motivational speaker. And tonight he's taking us through the most difficult time, possibly one of the most difficult times in his life, of course, physically, and how his mental stability and his mental strength and vigor took him through this deadly disease, COVID-19, giving him a run for his life in his own words, and of course still fighting this deadly disease, but sharing his experience with us tonight on Walk the Talk to motivate, inspire so many people. Nolan, thank you for being with us tonight.
It's my pleasure, Nilofer.
Nolan, I think even listening to your story, I don't even think it applies only to COVID-19. I think with any dilemma or any test that's put in front of you by the grace of God, if you are able to have the mindset that, listen, this crisis is not bigger than me, and if God brought me to it, He'll bring me through it. And I think that is something that is absolutely profound in listening to your story, that your mentality and the way in which you deal with something can allow you to put it into any situation and allow you to overcome that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really about that.
Okay, so now we were speaking about the fact physically you were sitting in the chair at the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you were sleeping every day. So talk to me. That was from day 2 to day 11 you slept in the chair. Now, how long were you in hospital? When were things started looking better for you? When was there a breakthrough for you, Nolan?
So I spent 14 days in ICU, and I spent 3 days in the ward. So I think my breakthrough came after day 4, because what had happened is there was a doctor that was in the ward who was also sick. He was COVID.
Sure.
And what, for 2 nights, basically, he was in so much of pain that he was actually crying out to die. And this was a doctor that was taking out his oxygen and stuff and basically saying, I want to die. I want to die. The pain is just unbearable. And this touched me deeply. The only thing I could do is, send healing towards him, send prayers towards him.
Sure.
I couldn't speak to him because he was kind of hallucinating at night. And all of these things were in my view. At night, he'd come off the bed and he'd lie on the floor. Then they'll have to get all the nurses to come in and try and help him onto the bed. It was like really traumatic. And then what had happened is the one morning I woke up and I didn't see him in the bed. So I asked the nurse, I said, so where is the doctor? And she said he passed on. For as strong as my mindset is, I broke down. I'm human. We all are human. I broke down and I called my family and I said, this is really tough. This really is tough because all the trauma I'm facing here, I'm going through that, and I still have to focus on repairing myself, focus on helping myself. That's really tough. My doctor came in, he spoke to me, and he said basically, my doctor was so kind, so patient, and he basically said to me, with COVID, we've got to be patient. We cannot rush this. So he says, pick your time out in ICU, and you see it will come back. So he immediately went back and he called my sister, and he said to her, you go down and you speak to your brother, basically. So she came down. She had to change, into the clothing,
PPE,
the PPE and stuff. And she spoke to me. She calmed me down a lot. I guess it was also seeing a familiar face that really, really helped me a lot. So she spoke to me. She calmed me down. And after a while, I started getting back to normal. And that's when I said, you know what? Just stick out each day. Don't count the days. Don't count the hours anymore. Just wait it out. And that's exactly what I did. I just carried on waiting it out. It still was a bit traumatic because I was very close to the entrance, the door of the ICU. And every time you find a family coming in, you just immediately know that family is coming to say goodbye to their loved one. That's the only time they called him in. And it happened on many occasions. And it was sad. The only thing I could do from my end was send them healing, send them love, send them prayers. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but this is where, yes, as I said, we are human. We are allowed to break down.
Of course.
When you break down, make sure that you can still pick yourself up as fast as well. Don't stay down, because if you do stay down, you're going to lose the battle.
I always say we're human beings and we're allowed to have a meltdown. We're allowed to, but just don't camp there. Just don't go live there, Camp there for a little bit, it's okay, but pick yourself up and continue, because it's those real moments that give us a reality check to understand that, listen, don't unpack there. Let's have that moment, and then you can go back to, okay, let me put my grip on my life and continue living. Okay, so the doctor having passed away, you're in an emotionally heavy position right now. What took you out of hospital, Nolan? How long from incubation to exiting the hospital?
So I like this question very much. So while I was in ICU, I visualized myself. So what I did daily, every single day, I was doing a meditation, a healing meditation on myself.
Okay.
So imagining that I've got soldiers within my body that are going in and fighting whatever is in there. Because to me, I've never experienced something like this in my life. I felt like something eating away at my body. And if you look at me now, a picture of me now, you'll see I've lost a lot of weight. So I felt...
So that feeling, is it physically? Like, did you feel inside like things were withering away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I felt within my body.
Sure.
So I carried on doing my meditation on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I received... I used to receive video clips and prayers from a lot of people, both locally and internationally. I listened to every single prayer, be it from a Hindu, a Christian, a Muslim, every single one. And when I listened to this, I believe in one God and different beliefs, right? Mm. When I looked at this, I imagined all of the different belief systems, the gods, around my bed, just protecting me and guiding me. Mm. It was just so special. It was so beautiful, unbelievable. I did that. I listened to my daily mantras. Every single day when I woke up, I was grateful for another day. Okay. I guarantee you and the listeners, please start practicing gratitude on a daily basis. It's the only thing that will get, not the only thing, it's one of the best things you can do to your life. It really, really helps so much. Talk to yourself. Give yourself positive self-talk. It does help. So while I'm here, I'm visualizing that by this Thursday, which would have been day 14 for me in ICU, I would be out of here. I looked at myself and I had this image that I'm in the ward and I'm basically changing my clothes from the hospital clothes into a shorts, basically. And it became so surreal. And guess what? On that Thursday, they had moved me to the ward. They had moved me to the ward. And then I didn't leave it there. I carried on. I said, no, now I want to go home. I can feel that I'm on my way to recovery. I'm ready, and I can do this. I need to go home. So I visualized myself being out of the hospital the Friday. So this was the Thursday. No, sorry, it was the Wednesday, and that Friday I visualized myself being out of the hospital. And I could have been out. The problem was the people that were arranging my oxygen to be delivered could not deliver on the Friday.
Okay.
They only delivered on the Saturday, and I was discharged the Saturday.
How were you feeling, Nolan, at that point? Physically, how were you feeling? I know you're mentally strong, and I know you're an emotional soldier, but at that point, physically, you were talking about feeling like there was something eating your insides. COVID-19, we know, is a debilitating virus. How were you feeling physically at that point in time? And were you scared to then go home for your family?
I wasn't scared. I was excited to go home.
Okay.
But physically, I told them over the phone that when you guys have a look at me, please don't be scared. You're going to see somebody who's kind of like skin on bone. So be prepared. So I prepped them in advance that this is what you would see.
Okay.
At that point, I couldn't walk much. I started off walking 10 steps in the hospital. I got to 30. I got to maybe just below 100 when I left the hospital. And this is steps, eh? This is steps. Compare this to doing Kilimanjaro and stuff. I mean, 100 steps should be really nothing for me. So I prepared them in advance, and I did say to them when I get home, and this is something we did. We did a debriefing as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so on that Wednesday, that Saturday, you go home. Physically, you are really not in your best state, and now you've got to go home. We're still not sure, and like we spoke on the floor, that you haven't tested negative yet for COVID. You're going to see your doctor in a week, right?
I'm only going to see him on the 23rd of March.
23rd of March. Okay, so you still have to fight this virus, right, and get better? Because many people that we've spoken to after having COVID or in the process of getting better, they're not themselves still. There's a long way for physical recovery, because it's just hit people so hard, right? It's just been so debilitating. What date were you released from hospital, Nolan?
It was the Saturday, which is now, I'm at home now a week and a half.
Wow.
So not the Saturday, the Saturday prior, that's when I was released from hospital.
So that's not long. A week and a half. How are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm feeling so much more stronger as the days go on. I'm doing certain things that I've set myself goals. And what I do is, for example, with my walking, I walk around the yard. Last week I got to a maximum, by Friday I got to a maximum of 2,000 steps. This week my plan is to get to a maximum of 3,500 steps by Friday. So far I've done about 3,000. So I'm increasing every single day. With the oxygen that I am on, it's a slow flow oxygen.
Okay.
I'm meant to be on it for 18 to 24 hours. So up until yesterday, I was doing 3 times 40 minutes without the oxygen. And today I've increased it to 3 times 60 minutes without the oxygen. So I'm helping myself help my body.
Yeah.
And you get to know your body in such a way that if you do get to a point where you're battling to breathe, and I have had that last week, in fact, and this week as well, when you reach that point that you feel you're gasping for breath, then you immediately come in and you put your oxygen to help you. Don't push yourself beyond that stage. What I am noticing, though, is especially with the walking, is when I reach that goal or that target, if I go a little further, I know the next day to get to that point would be much more easier.
Okay.
So I keep helping myself elevate in that way, and that's going to give me much more strength. Physically, I won't be able to run or anything now, but I can feel my body getting stronger as the days go by. I haven't sorted out a sleep pattern like I used to, so I have a lot of broken sleep because during the day I get tired and I nod off as well. So, and they do say rest is good. I was in isolation for a week. The doctor says take a week of isolation.
Okay.
And that ended on Sunday. So now I'm walking around the house and I'm going outside. I'm getting a lot of vitamin D. I'm doing a lot of reading. I still do a lot of my daily rituals, which is the meditation and etc. And I do a lot of breath work. So if anyone is battling with COVID out there as well, there's so many different breathwork techniques that you can do, and it's so simple. For example, if you have a straw, you blow into a glass of a little water. It's called resistance blowing, and that helps so much, Nilofa. It's unbelievable. These simple things that, we would normally blow into a straw as kids, right, for fun.
To make bubbles in our milkshakes.
To make bubbles, yeah. We do it for kicks, but now it helps you so much. So, you do just the basic things, and just remember, keep breathing. Go outside and have a look at your plants, the greenery, the oxygen that comes off there, the natural oxygen. That is the best. Really is the best.
Wow. Nolan, I'm getting so many messages, and I will read them to you in a bit. The WhatsApps are just full with we cannot believe and Nolan's positivity and admire his strength to, even at this adversity, to be able to teach and to be able to heal. Nolan, at this point, are you able to eat?
Yes, and to be honest, I'm actually back to eating Indian food.
Great. What did you have today?
Today it was chicken curry and rice.
Nolan, you are something else, I must tell you. I have had COVID survivors ago. They've been a week out of hospital. They still can't taste. They're having rasam, or, they're having some kind of sick people's food, invalid soup, etc. And you back to chicken curry and rice. Boom, bang, back to normal. Straight talk.
No.
Nolan, it's just such a pleasure to talk to you. We're going to take a really quick break here on Walk the Talk and be back with Mr. Nolan Pillay discussing his phenomenal, remarkable journey of recovering. He's still in recovery, COVID-19. Good evening. This is Walk the Talk on Lotus FM. My name's Nilofer Said. I'm in candid conversation with Nolan Pillay, and he's telling us about his fascinating journey of being a COVID survivor, teaching us, motivating us, inspiring South Africa tonight to listen, we can beat this virus. And, often when I have a COVID survivor on, the theme is relief, but also it's subdued, it's docile. Tonight, it's just so exciting and motivating to hear that someone 1.5 weeks out of hospital of COVID-19 is walking around having chicken curry and rice and almost back to their normal self. Nolan, it's such a pleasure to have you around. People are calling you the Chuck Norris of COVID-19.
Oh, wow. That's the first.
Yeah. Okay. So you're back to eating, you're back to walking around. But, I think what people are most fascinated about is the positivity and your ability to turn the situation into one that is motivating for all. And, by profession, you are a motivational speaker. You left corporate to become someone who affects lives, right? To infect their lives with positivity, to change them into a course of, listen, let's do things right. Let's make better choices. So even with this particular instance in your life, you've had the ability to do that. What, in your opinion, has been one of the most valuable lessons that has been taught to you from getting this virus?
Wow. So, I'll be very honest. I didn't believe in COVID from day one. I was very skeptical about it. I never knew I would get it. To me, it was just like another kind of something that was made in a factory, and I started to really believe in that. And the more I believed in it, the more I realized, okay, COVID will never touch my life. I will never get it.
Okay, so you're one of those people that believed it was made in China in a laboratory and it was leaked out and it's population control.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say China specifically.
Right.
I would say it was more population control.
Okay, so you're one of those people who weren't listening to Walk the Talk. Okay, all right. I'm done with taking the mickey out of you. Right, so COVID-19 infected you and then what?
It just changed my whole life. If I look back now, I've counted up today, I think 34 days since I got it till now, so it's like 34 days in total. 34 days of having this alone has set me back almost like a lifetime. So it's almost like I have a new lease on life. Wow. It's like starting off from scratch, and that's exactly how I feel. And I'm in a way, I'm really grateful for that because I get a new lease on life. Okay. I get to start building my body up again, with now it being kind of clear in a way, and working the way I want it to work. It's taught me so many things about people as a whole. When I came across the doctors and nurses in the hospital, they were amazing. The support, the care, it just made me realize that humanity is well alive.
Yeah,
it is there. We just need to get into touch with the right people and start restoring humanity on a bigger level, because it is there, truly. So that's sort of the one valuable lesson is don't take life for granted. Don't take your breathing for granted. I mean, we all are so grateful that we can breathe, but be in a situation like me where you say, I can't breathe. And you're not saying I can't breathe because somebody is physically blocking you. It's because you can't breathe. It gives a new definition to the term, I can't breathe. So don't take life for granted. Whatever you do, if you do feel like you have COVID or have a touch of it, please go and do a check.
Okay.
Check yourself up. Protect those around you, the loved ones. Because I know, because I've been so severe, I'm the one that infected the balance of my family, the three of them.
Yeah.
So it's big learnings, really major learnings for me. And the setback, I know it's going to take me. I've been told that I need to be on this oxygen for at least a month.
Wow, Nolan.
Yeah. But I'm going to beat that, hey?
Yeah, you are. You're going to do it in less. You're going to do it in less.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Definitely.
I honestly believe so, really. How are the rest of your family doing?
They've recovered. Just my son has a bit of a cough.
Okay.
But but the balance of them, they've recovered. The wife also has a bit of a sore throat. My daughter recovered, I think she was one of the first to recover, and she's very similar to me. While I was in hospital, she took pictures of my gold card that was on my desk, and she used to WhatsApp it to me and said, read your gold card and don't forget what your purpose is.
Wow.
Things like that. They all used to tell me, they told me in a call, they said, just the day I broke down, they said to me, just visualize yourself getting better. That's all you need to do. They didn't realize how hard it was for me to actually do it after the doctor had passed on. But they still encouraged me. They kept encouraging me, kept motivating me. It's just unbelievable, the support you get from your family, from your friends, from people that you don't even know. I was told that there were prayer groups going on. There were people sent me videos with groups doing videos and sent it to me, wishing me well and stuff. I just couldn't believe that, I had touched so many lives.
Yeah.
And people were really grateful that I had decided to fight this and not lose the battle.
And I think also the added advantage of on that difficult day, like you said, the medical fraternity being amazing, as well as the fact of having your sister who was in ICU to be able to come to you and say, listen, Nolan, it's going to be okay. And I think those, if you look at your graph of how you got better, there are valuable points there where people have to take notice that, listen, in any difficulty, what helps a person, number one, is their mental stability at that point and the mental vigor they have to fight it. Two, the support structure they have around them that creates a foundation for them to springboard off it and trampoline off whatever they've had and go, listen, I can beat this because I have the support to fall back on. And I think the emotional support, talking to yourself and loving yourself, self-love, Nolan, which is a huge part of what you have. The fact that you love yourself, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that says, listen, I value my life and the way in which I affect others.
True. Absolutely. And self-love is not selfish at all.
No. Really,
it's not. People do think that, but we all need to understand that self-love is an important factor for each one of us. We all climbing mountains.
Absolutely.
So love yourself first.
Before I get to the WhatsApps that have come in for you, Nolan, is there any last message that you would like to give to South Africa tonight, being a COVID-19 I can't even call you a survivor yet, but I will, because you are. I mean, you are a COVID survivor. What message would you like to give to South Africa tonight?
So, to anyone who is going through this, don't take it lightly, for one. And if you do get infected with COVID, do the basic things like I mentioned. Don't feel shy to meditate. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's such a powerful technique that you can use to meditate to help you calm yourself down. Do a lot of visualization techniques. Visualize yourself being out of that hospital. Visualize yourself being in a happy space with your family, your friends, etc. And, also, if you do have families that are in hospital, please do not be too quick to suggest the ventilator. Give them that fighting chance. They can fight it. Give them the fighting chance and give them your support and your love. Stay positive with them. Motivate them on a daily basis as well. And you will get them through it. But just don't be too, in your haste, want to put them onto a ventilator. Allow them that fighting chance at least. They deserve that.
Absolutely, Nolan. Some beautiful, wise words coming through there. Thank you so much for that. Let's turn to the WhatsApps that have come in for you. Here's the first one. This is, hi, Nilofa. I remember, Nolan, from my town. I will pray with faith that you will get better. This is love from Vigi in PMB. Your hometown coming in strong tonight. Here's another one.
Thank you so much, Vigi.
Hi, Nilofa. I am blessed by your lovely talk show. Thank God for your awesome and brave guest. We are grateful to God for giving him the courage and boldness to fight this precious life. He is bringing encouragement to the many that are fighting for their lives right now. We continue to pray for total recovery. May God continue to strengthen him and many others from day to day. Lots of love and prayer. You are a great living testimony. This is from Salvi, also PMB.
Thank you so much, Salvi. I appreciate that.
All right. Let's get to the next message. Of course, good evening, Nilofa. Truly an inspirational show as always. Thank you from Shakuntala. Here's another one. Hi, Nilofa and Nolan, listening to the show. It's emotional. And a gentle giant, a brave, strong fighter. I take a leaf from you to never give up. That clip gives me tears, but you are a go-getter, very positive. We lost many families to it. I salute you. You are a conqueror to all COVID survivors. You'll inspire us. Thank you. God's blessing. Thank you, Nilofa, for spirit-filled talk shows. Lots of love. Ranjini Reddy. Thank you, Ranjini, for that.
Thank you, Ranjini, and Shakila, the previous message.
Hi, Nilofa. Please don't think we are out of the woods. Even if you've tested negative, the first and second time is normal. A few days later, the symptoms worsen. Knowing the third test, you tested positive. This shows the danger behind the truth that the incubation period is 14 days. This virus is real. Take no hostage. There is no hostage. Negotiations will not be able to save you from corona. It doesn't negotiate. Be safe, take care, and take precautions if you really want to be out of this. Lots of love to family members. This is real. Shamila Miraj and Stanka. Thank you for that, Shamila. Yes, it is a terrorist that we cannot negotiate with, but we have to make ourselves mentally strong to pull ourselves through this very difficult time, as Nolan has showed. To Nolan, as a former COVID survivor, I can only admire your strong will and tenacity in fighting and conquering this deadly virus. I thank God that you are here today and able to relate your harrowing ordeal. Love from Nolan, Millie, Narina, and Angeline.
Oh, so that's the sister I mentioned that worked at the hospital, Millie.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good evening. Amazing story, and love Nolan's positivity, and that will see him through. It's my birthday on the 23rd of March, so Nolan, rest assured, you will get the all clear. Get well soon. Regards from Fazila Khan of Gauteng. We say amen to that prayer coming through from you, Fazila.
Amen to that.
A very special hi to you, dear Nilofa, and your amazing guest. Many thanks for your great and inspiring show. To Nolan, I applaud you for sharing your experience with the Lotus FM listeners. Remember, the Almighty God is always there to protect you and guide you. Wishing you a very happy and speedy recovery. Nilofa, please take care. Have a lovely evening. Lots of love. Roshni, PMB, in the house tonight, just supporting their homeboy.
Amazing support.
All right,
Amazing.
Here's another one. Wow, I can't believe what Nolan has gone through. May the Almighty continue to bless you and all the guardian angels that surround you. Will you consider taking ivermectin to help you along? I don't know how, but can Lotus FM show the following with Nolan? Thank you for sharing your experience and being so strong. So this particular listener has sent a recipe of a broth that they would like you to taste. So we'll send that to you, Nolan. Get that recipe to you. Maybe you'd like to test it out. Nolan, have you taken ivermectin?
No. So when I did mention it to my doctor, he basically said to me, I can see you're recovering well. Why do you need to complicate your body?
Right.
And that was my answer. No. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So good evening, Nilofa. Words fail me listening to this remarkable individual, wishing him all the best on his recovery. God is good all the time. This is coming from Ramba Mudli in Phoenix. Thank you for that, Ramba. And she's sending many crying faces because I think you've touched a lot of people tonight. Yeah. All right. This is a very special message that's come through for you, Nolan. Nolan, I just want to say that I love you so much, and I cannot tell you how scared I was seeing you so sick in ICU. I was so glad that I could be there for you. I'm so proud of you and how you've handled this, from your sister, Millie.
Oh, so special. She helped me so much with my recovery. It's just unbelievable. So I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful for having her in my life. She was the only one that could see me during this time. A family member.
I think God sent her straight to you. But you know what I honestly believe is that she's shown you strength. She said, come on, Nolan, you can do this, you can beat this. But you, on the other hand, didn't see how scared she was to see you in that situation. So this is what we must remember. We must absolutely remember the fact that it is scary for every family member. But what do we need to do? Put your fears aside and motivate each other to do better.
Exactly.
Hi, Nilofa. Hi, Nolan. Thank God for your recovery. Thanks for the information on your survival of this virus. Take care and be safe always. Maggie Chetty.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Wait. hang on, let me just go back to this message. Love, light and strength to you and the family, Nolan. Visualization is the secret that many need to implement. This is from Adesh Maharaj. Thank you for that, Adesh.
Thanks, Adesh.
Here's another message. Good evening to our awesome presenter and our guest, Nolan. Thank you for inspiring, motivating and educating us. Nolan, listening to your video has brought tears to my eyes. Thank you for providing us with such important tips. Nolan, congratulations on your success and your accomplishments. Your humility stands out. We are so proud of you and we salute you. May God bless you and may you grow from strength to strength. And our utmost gratitude goes out to our medical staff. May God place his hands upon them and keep them safe always. Thank you, Yano Pillay in Phoenix. Thank you so much for that message, Yano. And really, I think we've mentioned this many a times to say that we as a collective humanity really owe a great debt to the medical fraternity. And of course, Yano says, Yano plays that, Nolan, we pray that you get well soon. Okay, good evening. I heard that herb thyme is excellent for respiratory conditions. Try it by making tea. Avi Naidu. Thank you for that, Avi. We really appreciate all the suggestions coming through to help heal Nolan Pillay tonight. The next message says, good evening, Nilofa and to Nolan. Thank you for relating your experience with COVID with us. You have had a painful experience and yet so positive. You do have mind control. And thank you for being a great inspiration. This comes from Mala. So like I said to you, Nolan, so many messages coming through for oh, here we go. There's another one. There's another one that comes through. Chanting with Shiva beads, everyone. This is from Stephen Naidu in Pantas Hill. Namaskaram. Thank you for that, Stephen. Really do appreciate that. Like I said, whatever religion you are, whatever faith, whether you're religious, not religious, spiritual, but you can pray for a human being. No matter what their caste, culture, or religion is. We as humanity are desperate for those prayers. So I think it's absolutely important that we take this opportunity to realize that some people are going through very difficult times. And even the true strength of a person is when they are going through adversity, they provide strength for other people. And that is a quintessential example is Nolan, going through the most difficult time of his life right now, but providing a platform to educate others. Nolan, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you tonight. For those of you who want to check out to Nolan's videos and keep in touch with him and look at his journey, you may go on all social media platforms. I believe it's Straight Talk with Nolan.
Correct,
yeah. So there's many messages that are coming through. Let me just go to the top here, Mike. We don't have time, but I have to read this one that says, hi, Walk the Talk, wishing Uncle Nolan all the best. You inspire us. We love you, Joe and Yosh. This is from your nephew and niece. So many people coming in. Good evening, Nilofa. Thank you for the awesome show. Nolan, you truly inspire us daily. Even though you were so sick, you still focus on your health. I know you have on your bottle already. We love you forever. Your loving wife and kids, Alicia and Trace. I'm sorry I couldn't put the show down. Lots of people saying we salute you for your remarkable recovery. You're a man of steel. This is from Yogi Reddy in PMB. Well done, Nolan. From Saris in PMB. Hi, Nilofa. Nolan has so much positivity. So proud of him. I know him so well. Sandy in PMB.
Oh, thank you so much, Cindy.
Yeah, so all the messages coming through for love and light into your life. Thank you for providing that for us tonight, motivating, inspire us. And we will be checking in with you very soon to check on your results and how you're doing and, of course, how you can inspire us more. But from us at Lotus FM and Walk the Talk, Nolan, please take care and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Nilofa. I just want to say one last thing. I'm so thankful and grateful. I have to express my gratitude to every one of you for your prayers, thoughts, your healings, whatever you did. I love you all. And, it's all about sticking together. And like Nilofa shows, we can always remember when you're in a situation, I can do this.
Absolutely.
I can get through it. So thank you once again to all the listeners and everyone, and to you, Nilofa, and Michael as well. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Nolan. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Lotus FM. Yeah. Share the experience.